Hello, welcome to this week's live attorney chat. I'm Attorney Deisree Gustafson with Immigration for Couples. If you are new to our firm or our Facebook page, we regularly do these live broadcasts to discuss questions that we're hearing either on our social media platforms or during consults or other questions that we may get just from the general public. So today, I'd like to discuss two different questions that we have received. And so if you are watching this live and you have questions while I'm on here live, feel free to put those in the comment feature. And if I see them, I'll try to address them while we are live here. And if not, and it's something that we can then address on an additional live talk, I certainly will come back on and do that. So today we're going to talk about two questions that we've received from people through our Facebook page. One is about the Affidavit of Support, and in particular, joint sponsorship, and what to do if both the U.S. citizen and the spouse are living abroad. The other will be regarding the redesigned green card and work authorization that USCIS has recently come out and announced. So let's talk about the first and the Affidavit of Support. Of course, as you might be aware of, if you are familiar with our YouTube channel or our website in particular, we've done lots of resources and lots of videos on the Affidavit of Support, even joint sponsorship in particular. But that is one of probably the areas that I see the most issues that people have during their petitioning process. And the Affidavit of Support, of course, would come sometimes at different stages, but it's along with some type of a petition for an immigrant to come and stay in the United States. And the reason behind that is because there is what's called a public charge of inadmissibility. So basically, in the Affidavit of Support, you are attesting to your income, maybe assets if needed, past income, in order to suffice with the government and satisfy their interest in making sure that that immigrant, when they come over, is not going to fall onto taxpayer burden. So you basically are attesting, yes, I have sufficient means to provide for this person to be in my household. Therefore, it has to be above the poverty level. And you can find what USCIS designates as their poverty level right on their website, uscis.gov. And that will give you an idea. Of course, the income levels go up as the amount of people in your household go up. And every person that you've petitioned for or co-sponsored for or joint sponsored for would be then included in your household number of people in your household up to a certain date or time. Obviously, that would eventually fall off at some point. But for the purposes of this video, we're talking about just complete household size and those that you've also petitioned for. So knowing that and what it's trying to prove, you do need an 864, which is the Affidavit of Support paperwork. And so this would be most in line with any adjustment of status or spousal petition. So not the fiancé petition, although they're very similar. It's a different form for like a fiancé visa that you would use to support income. But the 864 would need to be filled out by the petitioner, even if petitioner is unemployed and you know you're going to need a joint sponsor. You still have to provide all of that documentation. So past taxes, current information, and then all of the supporting documents we provide as well. Then if you were to get a joint sponsor or even two co-sponsors, then each of those people would have to have a form, an 864, filled out for their income and their household as well, and all of those supporting documents. So however you're going to support that. If you've got assets, you'll have to support those in a different way, statements, whatnot, pay stubs, that kind of thing, as well as proof of citizenship, of course. And the last part of that question was, what if both the U.S. citizen petitioner and the spouse are living abroad? You are still going to have to satisfy that public charge of inadmissibility. So you're going to need to be maybe a little bit more creative. So it's definitely something that you'd want to talk with somebody who is experienced in doing the affidavit of support. But know that if you are a U.S. citizen, even if you are working abroad or living abroad, the U.S. is going to still expect that you have paid taxes. So, trying to figure out who you've been working for and whether or not you owe taxes and that kind of thing is something you'd want to talk with, a CPA or somebody that does taxes, as well as have that discussion with your attorney, just so that they are aware and they can definitely try to highlight any joint sponsorship needs before you end up at a consulate for an interview and get turned away because you might need a joint sponsor. Sometimes making those interview appointments or supplying documents to a consulate after the fact is more problematic. So that's the adjustment or the affidavit of support through an adjustment of status type of process or spousal visa type of process. So I'll move to the second question, which was USCIS's recent announcement that they are redesigning the green card and work authorization. So they did just announce this a couple of days ago. And of course, it will contain new security features. This is something they do with some regularity every 3 to 5 years or so. It does not mean that if you hold an older green card, that would be then invalid. So your card would remain valid, even if it's the old featured, old style, for as long as either the expiration date or if there's some extension or some other type of notice from USCIS. As long as it is a valid green card, then it would remain valid even if it's that old style. Additionally, not everyone is going to be issued one of those new cards quite yet. They are still going to be using some of that old stock, if you will, to make sure that they use that up, and then they will all be switching to that newer designed style. So I hope you have found this helpful. Again, this is Attorney Deisree with Immigration for Couples. Certainly, if you know of somebody who might be interested in some of the things that we talk about here, like and share our page with them. If you're wanting to see more resources, visit us at www.immigrationforcouples.com. Click on the resources tab, and we have tons of videos and resources for you to kind of explore and get some more information about your specific needs. If we don't hear from you before now and then, I will join you right back here next Thursday at 11 o'clock for our next weekly live attorney chat. Have a great day, everyone.